But before Justice Ginsburg passed tonight, the last Supreme Court justice to die while he was still a member of the court was Justice Ginsburg's friend, the deeply conservative Justice Antonin Scalia. As we've been talking about tonight, Justice Scalia died unexpectedly in February 2016 at a ranch in Texas where he was on a hunting trip. And of course, because he died in February 2016, that means that Barack Obama was president. The Republicans had control of the Senate, but the Democratic president held the White House. Within 1 hour of the announcement of Justice Scalia's passing in February 2016, the Republican leader in the Senate, the majority leader, Senator McConnell, issued this statement. He said, quote, "The American people should have a voice in the selection of their next Supreme Court justice. Therefore, this vacancy should not be filled until we have a new president." Now, in February 2016, there wasn't even a Republican nominee for president. There was no Democratic nominee either. The presidential campaign hadn't gotten nearly that far. But 10 months before the 2016 election, 10 months before that election was going to happen, before we had nominees of either party, Senator Mitch McConnell decided that President Obama would not be allowed to perform his constitutional duty and responsibility to replace Justice Scalia on the Supreme Court, simply because the calendar year was 2016, and that was an election year somewhere way down the road, and he decided that was reason enough to hold that seat open. President Obama nominated a replacement anyway, of course. In March of that year, the month after Justice Scalia died, almost exactly 1 month later, he nominated the chief of the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in the District of Columbia, Merrick Garland, to the Supreme Court. Merrick Garland was a well-liked, well-respected, non-controversial pick for the bench. I mean, the only way in which he was controversial is that he might have been seen as too conservative by some Democrats in the Democratic base. Merrick Garland was a moderate jurist, well-liked by even Republican lawmakers. In fact, some Republicans in the Senate had held him up as the kind of example of a moderate centrist justice who they could get behind, but they were sure that a Democratic president would never nominate him. Well, President Obama did. 63-year-old centrist jurist Merrick Garland, who had been heartily and I think perhaps even unanimously approved by the Senate in the past. Nevertheless, Mitch McConnell vowed that Merrick Garland would never see the inside of the Supreme Court, that his nomination would never be considered. President Obama would not be allowed to fill that open seat, not if he nominated Jesus himself. The Republicans on the Senate committee that considers Supreme Court appointments, the Judiciary Committee, all 11 Republican members of the Judiciary Committee, they all not only agreed with Mitch McConnell in this, they all put their names to it in writing. They all signed a letter saying they would not consent to any nominee put forward by Barack Obama because it was 2016 when the vacancy became available. And that's an election year. And so, for the first time in the modern era, for the first time since Reconstruction immediately after the Civil War in the 1860s, the controlling party in the U.S. Senate in 2016, they refused to hold any hearings at all. They refused to fill an open seat on the Supreme Court. Merrick Garland never got a hearing. October of 2016, the Supreme Court reconvened with just 8 justices on the bench. They held that seat open for 400 plus days. And you know how the rest of the story goes. That November, an upset win by Donald Trump. He's elected president. January the following year, the previous Congress came to a close. That meant the expiration of the Merrick Garland nomination. The new Congress was sworn in. President Trump, 11 days into his presidency, nominated conservative Judge Neil Gorsuch to fill Scalia's seat. Republicans in the Senate were happy to hold confirmation hearings then, and Gorsuch was on the bench by April. Mitch McConnell has since described that episode as the proudest moment of his entire career. He says when he looked President Obama in the eye and told him he would not fill that vacancy on the court. Mitch McConnell has turned it into a sort of rallying cry, a matter of inspiration, the absence of bedrock principle as his political calling card and war cry.
The American people may well elect a president who decides to nominate Judge Garland for Senate consideration. The next president may also nominate somebody very different. Either way, our view is this: give the people a voice in filling this vacancy.
McConnell said the next president should get to fill that seat, not Obama, not that close to a presidential election. When President Obama nominated Merrick Garland, it was 237 days before the 2016 election. We're now 46 days from this election. But Leader McConnell says tonight, quote, President Trump's nominee will receive a vote on the floor of the United States Senate. And he can say that. That doesn't make it true, but that's his plan.